So, hello, hello. I had put out the shout out, what you wanted to make. I had wreath and I had jewelry. So, we're doing jewelry today, and then we'll do a wreath on the next one. Take these off so you don't get the glare. And I won't be able to see your comments. I might be able to. Go like this. Put your comments down in the bottom there. I'm not sure if I'm starting a little bit earlier or not because I'm doing the dual recording. But let's get started. So we're going to make a bracelet. So let me kind of show you a bracelet that I made, where you have an idea where we're going for with this. This is a toggle bracelet. This is what they call toggles, and they simply go in. They simply go in through that little toggle there, and that's how they clasp. Okay. Okay. So, and then you can put all your little beads and little fun things on there as well. And for me, what I like to do when I do a piece is I like to put my initials on it. That's got to be my little signature thing. So, there we go with that. So we're going to get going. First thing you're going to do, measure your wrist. You want to know that you're making it the right length for you. Okay, so just wrap it around. And when you measure it, it's not that hard. Leave about 1/4 of an inch more to it, because when you add your beads and such to your item, it's also going to, expand that, and you also want room for it to jingle a little bit. So make it about 1/4 of an inch larger than your wrist. So let's just say if your wrist is 7 inches, which is the average wrist, then make it about 7 1/4. 7 1/4. Yeah, 1/4. Yeah, 7 1/4. Also remember, when I'm doing my little shares, I am doing dual recording. So if I'm going like this, that's why. Facebook, YouTube. So this will be edited down to a much smaller version for YouTube. So one of the things I wanted to show you, this is the small version of a jewelry board. So here's a jewelry board. And yes, I have things on it because I'm always doing something. I didn't want to take them all off. These jewelry boards are really cool because you can actually use this jewelry board for your bracelets as well, because you still have your measurements on here. Okay? So I put some items over there that I'm going to be using on here. So the first thing I want to do is go over some materials, and then we are going to lay these out. I'm going to show you a few more samples, and we'll be good to go. See this? Wire. Wire is better for jewelry that you're going to be pulling and tugging on, especially if you do the toggle. Do not use a stretch cord on a toggle. It's counterproductive. It doesn't really work. Stretch cord is when you want to stretch them and just pop them on. Beads, I picked up these at Michael's, and these are the ones that we're going to use today. And for me, if you know me, you know that I don't like to use plastic beads. I use the stone, the crystals, and if they're really pretty, I'll use glass beads as well. But I don't want to be spinning my wheels creating something that's just going to look cheap. You want quality stuff. So when I'm showing you what to make, it should last you forever. If you do break it, then you're going to know how to restring it and get it taken care of and get back on track. Okay. Every once in a while you'll see me do this little click that says pausing and starting again. So I'm going to set that there. We're going to lay out the beads on here. I'm actually going to lay them out and try to show you as I'm laying them out. When I'm doing the iPad, it's a little bit trickier to get this bottom piece in here. So all you're going to do is just cut these off. And because we're doing 7 inches, my wrist is a little under 7 inches, so I usually do like 7 inches. That fits my girls too. And we're going to do a little bit more of a complicated one. See how I just strung those beads? I just put them right onto this little board here. Let me see if I can use one of these to kind of show you what this is. We're going to do 2 strands at one time. That's how you saw this one. It was 2 strands connected. We're using this little connector to do that. So we're going to put that in there. Also, because we're doing that, we're going to do that. Okay. These I picked up at Michael's. These I picked up at Michael's. When I buy my beads at Michael's, I do get them on sale because they're really expensive. So when they have them, a lot of times I'll have, it doesn't matter what color. A few times out of the year, it doesn't matter what color this is. It'll be like one price. And that's when I go in and I just stock up. So we're just laying it out on the board here. Now you're going to be able to see this layout much better on the YouTube share because of the way the camera's angled. I do my Facebook Lives on my iPad. Girl's got to work with what she's got. And my iPad works just great. Okay, so see how this is coming together? Super easy. And because I want to add a little bit more pizzazz to it, we're going to cut this and put this maybe in the middle. Aren't these pretty? This is the natural stone, amethyst, natural stone. So are the beads. The beads are natural stone as well. So right now we have it laid out like this. And I chose to do the bracelet because it won't take as long. If you want to do a necklace, just make it longer. Most necklaces are about 23. Hi, Lynn. I do get to see the comments. Yay! I can't bring the camera closer without losing this bottom. Here, I'll try. And I'll just be holding this up like this for you to see. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to lay this out. And once I get this strung, then I'm going to be able to lift it up and show you. And this is not going to really be an issue. So you're going to lay out your board, 7 inches. So remember, you're going to measure your wrist, add about 1/4 of an inch to that, and then go from there. So I'm thinking that's kind of pretty, just the way it is. It's really simple and easy. I was thinking about putting these little guys on there. See how these are pretty? But I think I'm like, I don't know if I'm feeling it or not. What do you think? You think we should put that on there? Give me a thumbs up if you think we should put that on there too. I'm thinking we're fine the way we are. Just keeping it really simple and fresh. I have some charms we're going to put on there too. Okay. So we're going to string this up, and remember we're going to use, this is a 7 strand, which is going to hold pretty good. Time to pause this and get it going again. Okay. So I leave it on the spool when I'm threading these, and here's why. Because beads roll and they escape. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to have end pieces on each end, right? So you're going to put your end piece on, and because we're doing the two strands, This is going to be your end piece. You also want your crimp, these little crimps, and I'll hold it up for you. This is the fun part, but it's not hard. It's really not. After you do it a few times, it's really not hard. It's really not. If I can do it, anyone can do it. To know me, no anyone can do it. If I can get this off, I should have had these off before I started on videotaping, but I did want to kind of do real time share with you, so. I push these on really hard because I want to make sure, hi Charlene, I want to make sure these are on here really tight. Okay. So these little tubes, these are your barrel clamps, and these are amazing. You're going to absolutely love these, okay? You really, really are. So. I'm actually going to use 2 of them on this end because I'm just going to go ahead and prep both sides. We're going to put them down here. And normally what I do when I'm working on these is I have a little felt thing I put down here if I don't lose my stuff. So because we're doing two strands, we want to get the 2 strands going. Don't worry about keeping your pieces long. You trim everything up later. So all you're going to do is trim that, push that through. See how I have it on the 2 here? 1, 2, 1, 2. And it's going through that little barrel that just got away. Come back, y'all. I haven't played with my jewelry in a while. I've been busy painting. I've been playing. Okay. This tool here is really a good tool to have if you're going to be making jewelry. This is a crimper, and what it does is it will crimp it closed for you. Bear with me one moment. Get that going again. So what we're going to do here is really going to be hard to see, but I'm going to do my best for you can see it. Just remember, everything I share on Facebook Live, there's a better quality share on YouTube once I get it edited. So you have these little teeth here. You do know. We're going to put it back in the back tooth here. Okay, pull it a little tight. I'm going to hold that for a second so you can see what I'm doing. And we're just going to squeeze that down. We're going to do that twice on this end. Okay? We left it a little wobbly, and you want to leave it a little wobbly because you don't want your jewelry to be so snug and tight that it snaps on you. So because we know we're going 7 inches and we're not going to worry about saving our wire, we're not going to, that comes later when you're really good. Leave the wire long enough to where you have room to manipulate it. So we're going to do that again. So we're going to run it through again. So it's going to go through that little hole there. We're going to bring it around. First thing we're going to do is put the little barrel clamp thing on there, our little crimp. Put your crimp on it. Don't forget your crimp. Otherwise you'll just be taking it back off. Just loop it through. You know, if you sew, it's just like threading your needle. You're just going to thread that through. Make it nice and tight because it's going to unsnug on you when you go to crimp it. We're going to crimp it. See that little dip in there? The first hole is like an eyeball hole. It's like a right here, and then the other one has like a little wink in it. We're going to use that wink, and we're just going to crimp it down. That's it. So now you have both your ends done. Okay, and we're not going to worry about that being long right now. You don't care that it's long because we're going to trim it up later anyway. It's all good. Okay. Show you. Get that to unsnag here. There we go. And you can put ball crimps on these to decorate over these. And I'm going to show you that later, okay? Right now we just want to get it threaded. And that's what these little guys are. Try to make it where it doesn't glare too much on you. Okay. So that goes over there. This comes, you can buy these little crimps. They're little barrel crimps. You can buy these through Michael's, Amazon, Wally's World even has them. And you can buy them in a group of 4 with different colors, like the silver, the copper, the gold, and the rose gold. Or you can just buy individual color, whatever you're going to use. Because I'm using the silver toggle today, I'm using silver. Match up your stuff. So anyway, I'm not going to put the lid back on here because that was real fun. And I need to do that again once I bead this up. So we're just going to run these down. Is that easy? And what I like to do on my end, just so I know that this is going to be down in there, is I always make sure that I have a bead that's going to fit down. So if you have those seed beads like this, just know that see that? The seed beads, you're not going to be able to get 2 of the wires down into the seed to hide it. You're just not. So what I did is I do the little ball crimp, which I'm going to show you. Anyway, we're going to do the little ball crimp, and also see this little seashell guy here, the little tortoise. He's covering up the wire. What happens a lot of times, and you'll notice this when you buy jewelry, is they crimp those wires too short because they don't want people to see them, but then your necklace comes undone. So I run it down a little bit to give it a little snug, and then I tuck it in and trim it up. So that's what we're going to do. These beads are good. I can get the 2 threads through it. I apologize if you hear noise behind me. My niece is actually visiting me from Ohio for a little bit, and her and my hubby are kind of enjoying each other's company out there. They make a little noise. But that's okay. It's all good. You hear them talking in the background too. When I do my YouTube share, I'll just dub all the sound out and I'll put music to it. You won't even hear anything. But on the Facebook Lives, yeah, you're welcome to my world. Won't you be my neighbor? So anyway, we're just going to thread these up real quick. It doesn't take long. And like I was sharing before, I buy my beads through Michael's when they have them on sale. And I stock up during that time. And I never use the cheap beads because why? You don't have to. You can buy the nice stuff, and if you're putting your time into making something, don't short yourself. Just make it nice for you. And because we measured this out, we know that our 2 strands are going to match up. And I did 7 inches like I said because this is 7 inches. And I'm actually going to add a little bit more bling to the end of it because I can. Because I can. So that's kind of how I roll these days. I do a lot of stuff just because I can. So let's just keep on doing this. Take a little bit of time, but that's just part of the process. We get them all strung up here. So you're just stringing them up. And this is something you can do even like when you're watching TV and stuff. So see, we have one. What I always do too is I kind of double check it to make sure it's the right length. And because I'm adding a little bit more bling on the end of that, that is perfect. And we're going to do that again with the other strand. We're just going to string these through. Another thing, as I'm talking and sharing, I might as well do something. I have a website called ArtPal. If you want to check out the inventory as I create these things, what I do, better stop that. I need to stop that. What I do is I have an inventory page on ArtPal, and that all those links are in my bios and stuff. And ArtPal is where they sell all my paintings, like you can get prints of them. You don't have to actually buy the painting itself. And then all my jewelry and stuff that I do sell, the ones that I do put up for sale, they're on ArtPal. I also, I don't use my Facebook Marketplace. It was just too unpredictable. I guess is a good way of putting it. I was just having complications with it. So I just went to ArtPal. It's really cool because it takes care of itself. It kind of runs itself. And then, can't find the hole. There it is. And with the YouTube, what I'm doing on YouTube with my shares is if you go on and you subscribe to my YouTube channel and you're part of my YouTube family, see how come I leave them long? Because when you drop them, they didn't go all over the place because they're still long. You see how that's coming along? You see all this little mess here? That's going to get all taken care of. Okay? We're going to put that over there. And I'm actually going to move some stuff around here because I do want my felt pad. Just because I don't like things clanking and being really loud for you. So we're going to put that here. Okay. So what you're going to do when you're in here is you're just going to run this long wire down into the bead. See that? Do that again. And it's gone now. And then we're going to trim that one little piece off because we don't want to leave that wire there because it's going to itch and tickle you and just make you crazy. So I always run it down at least one bead, possibly two. Okay? So we're going to do that on both sides here. And I apologize if you can't see what I'm doing on Facebook. I'm trying to do it where you can see it. But I'll hold it up where you can see. See how those are nice and clean now, that end? You don't see the wires. And then when it's all said and done, I don't trim it until I'm totally done. And then I'll go back in and I'll trim it up. See, like on these ones, you can't see anything because I trimmed it all up. So we're going to do that on this too. Okay? So we're going to lay this down for a second because now we need to thread the other end. We need to put the other end on. And I also wanted to put like a little something on the end here. I make it up as I go along sometimes. I'm like, I want to put something more on. And I want to show you some cool stuff here. So in here, see this little crimp? We're going to use that to put this little charm on here. And I'll show you why we're doing that little charm. And let's just go ahead and put a couple little charms on there. You can do this before or after you crimp it shut. It doesn't really matter because it's open, so you can just put it right into the wire. But I'm going to put it on now because I want to be able to show you easily. You just put it on like that, and then you're just going to close it. Okay? But I'm going to show you that. But what I wanted to show you here is, see on the back here? It's hard to see on Facebook Live, but those are my initials. So when I make a piece of jewelry, I put HJ on there for Hallie Jolettes. So, because it's made by me. So we're going to put this other end on. Same thing again. We need the 2 barrel crimps. We have more than 2 out there, but that's okay. Okay. So we just drop the crimp down. Now you're really going to have a long piece of wire this time because I left it long for like when I dropped it earlier, the beads didn't go all over the place. I didn't want to do that to you while you clean up beads. Okay. So just when you're doing the 2 strand, you're going to use the 2 strand. And we're going to take that down into the little barrel clip. So this is really kind of cool. So when we go down into the barrel and we're finishing off this bracelet, okay, this is a little different than doing the other side. We're going to make sure it's snug right here. We don't want it too wobbly when we finish this off. I just kind of hold it and pull it. And then we're going to crimp it. Remember what I said, you're going to use that part that has a little dip in there. That little dip. The second hole. And we're going to crimp it, lay it in there, and then crimp it. And as you're crimping it, you're pulling on this little, I don't want it to come over here on you. I am so sorry. Pull that tight as you're crimping it. And see how that's nice and snug? But not too tight where it's stiff. You have a little wiggle room. And we're going to do that again with this one. And as we do it, you want to make sure your wire is threaded through on the bottom, otherwise it's going to not work. So same thing, I kind of hold it this way, kind of let gravity do its job, and just let it go down. See how it's nice and snug here, there's no wire hanging out. You got your crimp barrel here. We're going to take this, and this wire is really, really longer than what you need by far, but leave enough to where you can manipulate and move things around. And you're just going to run it through 2 beads. If you start going through a whole bunch of beads, it's not going to work well for you. Make sure you have it on your little thing too. I gotta undo that. It's like, oh, something's missing here. Okay. Thread it through your attachment. Thread it through your attachment. And then thread it through your beads. 2 beads. 2 beads is more than enough. Run it down and pull that nice and tight. See how that just pulled nice and tight? And it's still, this end is still looking good. You got your wiggle room up here. Remember, we don't want that too tight. And we're going to crimp it. The second crimp. Squeeze it. And that's it. This is more intimidating and it takes a little bit of practice to really get it down, but after you've done it a few times, it's so easy. So don't get discouraged, okay? Please don't. So there's your bracelet part. Now we want to put the toggles on. But wait, there's more. But wait, there's more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this wire. But I'm going to still trim it a little long because I'm going to show you. how to trim these down. When it's all said and done, we're going to trim these down too. See that? Okay. So now we're going to put the toggle on. And because it's a bracelet, I was debating if I wanted to go with the bigger toggle or the smaller toggle. I had so many toggles. I think I'm going to go, and you can do a jaw clasp too. I mean, it all works with this. It's all the same methodology. So these toggles I picked up off of Amazon, and you got to be careful when you pick up stuff off of Amazon. Look at the size and dimensions, because these are kind of small, and I was thinking I was getting something bigger, but they work quite well for what I use them for. They're fine. Okay, so here's your toggles. I'm going to show you here where you can see, and it goes through the toggle. And I still have my 2 barrel clasps here, because what we're going to do, we're going to use our barrel, the little barrel, okay, run it through the toggle, run it through your clips, your little attachment thing there. I'm going to hold it here for a minute so you can see what I'm doing. I'm trying to separate these so you can see the different pieces. So we have the barrel clasp, the toggle, the 1-in toggle. It doesn't matter which end you use because it's all going to match up. So just make sure you have the 2 that connect. So we have the toggle, the barrel clasp that we're going to crimp, and then what we're going to attach it to. Okay? So now all we're going to do is run this through the barrel toggle. It happens. Let's just try that again. I just dropped it. I was looking at it, it's like it's wanting to go back and forth on this toggle. It's kind of, this toggle has a long I want this barrel toggle on the other side of this. It's like going over the toggle. Stop that. You're like, what did you do? So that you're gonna crimp that. We're gonna make it tighter, but we're gonna crimp that onto this, okay? So we're just gonna bring that down. And you do still want a little bit of wiggle room. When what happens a lot of times is when you're making jewelry, and I've seen it more than not, everyone's trying to get that really snug and tight to cover the wire. And if you don't leave that wire a little jiggle room on that wire, it is going to break on you after a while. So we're just going to crimp it nice and tight. And because this is an end piece and that is going to show there, and I'm just that way, I am going to put like a little barrel clasp on that. So you'll see that, okay? And sometimes I'll put things dangling, and I might do that on this one. So here we are again on this side. We're going to do the same exact thing. Going to get this attached. And I know I'm kind of silly sometimes when I do these shares, but I try to make it easy and comfortable for you because I want you to feel accomplished and that you can do this. Anyone can do this. It's just a matter of getting in there and learning it and practicing. Practicing makes perfect. So there's another crisp little crimp right there. And we're going to crimp it again. Remember, it's the second one. It's one with a little Squeeze it tight. And if it doesn't crimp as tight as you want it to, go back and do it again. That's what these little tips are for. Okay? And on these end ones, I do want these really tight, so I am tipping them. And making sure they're really squeezed tight. But they're really on there. Ooh, ah. But wait, there's more. There's more. I'm going to show you more. Okay, so let's trim up these wires a little bit. So all you're going to do is on your wire cutters you have like a V in here. So when you lay it up against the bead on the tip, the flat, that's going to give you a real close cut. It's that easy. We're going to do that on both of these. Don't cut your wire that your beads are strung on. Make sure you're cutting you're trimming off your edges. I'm leaving these on the ends because I'm kind of thinking I might do something kind of fun with that. So we're going to leave those for right now. I just want to clean up these ones and see how this one's really tiny. So we just need to get in there with the tip and just clean that up just a smidge. But don't get your wire that you're on. If you don't clean up those little tiny pieces, they are going to itch you later, or your client, or whoever you give this to. So you want to get those cleaned up. Okay? So there is your bracelet. Easy peasy. And like I shared, I want to put on my little trademark thing here, just to show that this was made by me. So we're just going to put that. And this could actually go anywhere on the bracelet you want it to go, because it's just a little, it's just a little charm. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I make things up as I go along. That's how I roll. So let me think here for a second what I want to do. I think I want to show you this piece. This is my least favorite thing to do. It really is. I really don't like doing these. But let's give it a shot here. These are the beads that cover up the crimps. Okay. That would be something good to show you. So on these beads, they're kind of like roly-polies. Let me put it in here. Those are, take this end piece here, and we're going to slide that in, okay, and we're just going to crimp it down. Now you have to forgive me because I kind of have to look at it a little bit here to make sure I'm doing it right. And then get it going for you. Let's see how that's on there now. And then what I do with my little flathead, if you just get a set of your tools, you can go in with your flathead, or even your point if you want to. And you can line that bead up just a little bit better and crimp it down just a little bit more. These take a little bit of patience, to be honest. And I apologize that I'm doing it where you can't see what I'm doing. We're just going to tighten that up. We're going to close up that little roly-poly. Okay, we're just going to close him up. Not too tight though, because he'll be smooshed and dead. You don't want to smoosh and kill them. You just want it to still have that bead effect, but you do want to close it up. And that looks more finished off. And then we can just go down here and trim this off. And it just looks more finished off. And I'm actually going to hang from here the charms that I have. So I'll show you how to do that. And I just did that one because I wanted to show you how to do it. I want to hold you up all day doing all of these. But you just put that little roly-poly, the little roly-poly. There's technical names for all these things. I don't know. The crimp bead cover. Like a little Pac-Man. Your crimp is kind of flat after you do it. Put it in there and crimp it down. And then you just kind of play with it and make it the way, shape it the way you want. The biggest thing is give yourself some grace when you're first learning how to do this, because it takes a little practice. And it's okay to take it off, throw it away, and try again. It's totally okay to do that. It doesn't have to be perfect the first time. But if you do leave a gapping hole in it, it is going to snag on your clothes, and it's just, you're not going to like that. So I'm just going to try to get that closed up a little bit more. They're a pain, but they do look nice. I've seen some jewelers that just put them on. It's all good. Okay. Okay, so we're just going to trim that down. And that's it. I'll add my little logo thing on there, and we are done. So let me just pop that on. We're just gonna slide it in here. Actually, I'm gonna put it on between a bead. Why not? Put it wherever you want. It's your creation. Okay, so I'm going to put it right between these two little beads here. I think that's a good spot for it. And then you just take your other and you twist it and you watch it pop off. The little feather doesn't want to stay on there, so I'm not going to make it. But you just twist it back. A lot of people, when they do these, they try to pry them apart. You twist them when you're taking charms, and it's not a pry apart, it's a twist. Because if you twist it back and forth, that metal will give a little bit better. Okay, so you're just going to twist it, line it up, and then close it off. But I like these flat ones because you can just get right in there. Do like make sure it's lined up. And just close them up. Because if you don't close them up, they're going to come off. This one is, it's kind of good that I'm having a little bit of a difficult time with this one because you know you're not alone. Even I have trouble doing it. There we go. Usually what I'll do is I'll put like a little chain in here and I'll tighten it up that way. But I wanted to do this a little different today. Close up. And that's just putting a little charm on. Another way to put your charm on, which is even better, I just did this because I wanted to show you how to do it, is just put it on when you beat it up. I just wanted to show you how to put it on after the fact, because that happens sometimes. You'll go, oh, I want to add this, I want to add that, and there you know how. So that's it. With a little toggle on it. I love these toggles. They're so cute. If you wanted to go one step further, you could put your bead crimp over them. Remember I told you about that. I'm going to do that, but I don't want to hang you up. But I'm going to crimp some beads over here. My little HJ out there, made with love. Have a little love on there. That's it. Super easy peasy. So if you don't know what to get Mom for Mother's Day, there you go. There you go. I was going to share with you too on here, as I get all this together, just some different toggles. Here's like the gold toggle. The thing you want to do about toggles, where a lot of people make mistakes on the toggles, is you've got to make sure that when you're beading your beads up, that this toggle will go into, that it'll fit, because sometimes if you put a bead too big here, then this won't go through. So make sure that your toggle is going to work with your beading if you're using a toggle for a bead. Like this one here, this is a little tiny toggle, and then I have the little tiny beads with it, so that was no issue because I knew those beads would go right through there. See? That's kind of what I was talking about that. Remember with the seeds, when you're doing your seeds, you're not going to be able to run the extra wire down in here, so you've got to really make sure you've got your crimp and they're really tight and secure, and then always put like a bead cover on there, like I did on this one. See the little bead cover, because it is the tiny seeds. Same with this one as well. I did the bead cover. I used a decorative accent, ran the wire through the decorative accent, and made it a little bit stronger. So have fun with it. Check out Michael's. They have really good sales every now and then. Also, you can get them from Joann's. Believe it or not, they have beads. Make sure you're getting the glass or the natural stone or the crystal beads. Don't buy the cheap stuff unless, I mean, for me even, honestly, you may think, well, I'm just learning. I don't really need to spend that much on it. If you buy the stuff on sale, you get a good deal for it anyway. Don't spin your wheels. Make something nice. Have fun with it. Make something nice. Check out, I'm on TikTok too. My granddaughter told me to go on TikTok. So I use that as a promo page. So when I have something new coming up for YouTube that I'm editing, it'll go on TikTok as a short, and then the long will go on TikTok along with the short. So that's kind of fun. I like TikTok. You have all these little filters they give you and things that you can play with. So until next time, have happy creating. It's been real. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I'll push this out into my feeds. If you want to be part of Hallies Creations creative group, send me a friend request and I will add you. It's Daddy's. I always put all my postings on there first. And yeah, I think we're done. So bye. Till next time. It's been fun. As my daddy would say, have a good day and a better tomorrow. Peace out to my girls. May the Lord bless you and keep you. Bye.